Okay, hi everyone, welcome back, and in this update we are going to check out XRP's price chart and exactly what we talked about in the previous video played out. You see, if you remember the last time that we talked about Ripple, I think we were around here, and the idea was that most likely we are going to get a move on the upside, but the move itself is not really that important. We need to pay full attention to the shape of that move, and as you can see, we did get our move up, and the question is, based on what we are having in this area, can we argue in XRP maybe from the current point we are going to have a huge bounce, or maybe another move down in order to clear the lows, and then after it potentially a big bounce? Well, at the moment, based on what I'm seeing, I'm actually leaning towards the second scenario, meaning having a move down a little bit more. Why? Couple of reasons. Number one, I think we should probably say that this is kind of a strong move down, maybe, who knows, in form of a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave impulsive structure, meaning there is a chance that in XRP this is the beginning of a move down. Now, having said that, I do not believe that we're going to go straight down. No, in fact, for the next, let's say 12 hours, I do think we may see a bit of a bounce, but pay attention, this is actually the key. If this is going to be a slow bounce, then okay, at that point, count on this move on the downside to continue a little bit more in order to visit the lows once more and maybe even go a bit lower than that. Now, the second reason for why in here I do like to see a continuation of the move down actually comes down to the sub waves for this specific phase up right in here. You see, if you want to argue that we're gonna have our final low around this area, I don't know, maybe this is like a very important support, then okay, show me off of the low slope, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave in order for me to flip bullish. This specific structure is called an impulsive movement. Rules for it are, we should not have overlapping of the waves between our wave 2 and 4, and in any kind of 5 wave, wave 3 should not be the smallest wave. And pay attention, this is important please, for our sub waves we must be able to find 5 wave up into wave 1, 3 and 5, and for wave 2 and 4 we can have different scenarios. Let's say actually an ABC running flat into wave 2 and like a WXY into wave 4. Now remember the sub waves in here because we are now going to use this thing in our analysis. Let's go on the left chart. Okay, so here is your best shot at finding a 5 wave if you want to be bullish in XRP and you want to say we have hit our final low. I think you can actually say that this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave up, and then from here not to about the lowest low but probably to about this point, since this is kind of a strong move down, maybe we're gonna have an ABC running flat. And are you going to tell me this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I don't know how, but let's say, yeah, okay, like this. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave up, maybe like an expanded flat into wave 4, and what on a higher degree, what do you have? Maybe and hopefully a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave. And since if I just hide everything, we do not have clear-cut overlapping of the waves, maybe this is an impulsive structure up, meaning, you know what, in XRP we have hit our final low. Can this scenario be in play? The answer is yes, it can be in play. However, everything when it comes to technical analysis is about the probabilities, and I'm going to tell you right now, the possibility of this scenario happening may not be necessarily that high. Why? Okay, the problem actually comes down to the subwaves. You see, I think we can all agree that this seems a hell of a lot like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave. Also, this seems very much like an ABC, and you cannot, based on this thing, argue that this point, for example, is your wave 4 and this is another move up into wave 5. No, I think the scenario that makes more sense in here suggests that this is actually an ABC in form of an expanded flat. And well, okay, that actually changes everything. Why? Because now you should say this is 1, 2, 3, to about here, correction for 4, another move up into wave 5, excuse me, there we go. Let's actually delete the subwaves, and what do you have? 5 wave up, correction down, and another 5 wave on the upside. Well, guess what, these are the subwaves for an ABC zigzag, meaning what? Well, overall you're having 5 down, correction up. What's next? Probably a decent move down in XRP in order to visit the lows once more. So As you can see, in like very short time, a lot of signs do suggest that in Ripple we are going to get a continuation of this move down, maybe after like a 12-hour bounce back. But I want to be very clear, this is not going to be necessarily a bad sign at all. No, in fact, I would argue maybe after we get a move down and clear the lows, if we identify the right subwaves when it comes to a bounce back, this might be a decent long opportunity for us, in hope that who knows, maybe even we're gonna start the next major phase of the bull run. That can happen, but for now, let's just take everything step by step and watch the current move very closely and see what is going to happen. And I hope I explained everything well and you understood what is going on in XRP's price chart. And until the next update, I hope you have a wonderful time. Goodbye.